for tuning in. This is Optibotimus with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at some new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutations figures. That being Casey Jones, Rocksteady, and Bebop. As you can see for the package, very similar to what we got with the previous mutation figures, and the fact that the background has this kind of hybrid looking creation, and then you see that it does come with an extra leg that allows you to actually play with that swapping parts gimmick. All of them come with it, so even if you don't get an extra figure, you do have an extra piece that you can play with. Come around here to the back, and it kind of just gives you a diagram of what you can sort of create, and then you have the other figures that are currently available, including the new Bebop, Rocksteady, and Casey Jones. And then obviously it says endless combinations, which I'm sure it is endless at some point, but for the packaging though, that's about it for these guys. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have the new mix and match versions of Bebop and Rocksteady as well as Casey Jones. And since we already kind of took a look at the functionality of the mix and match kind of gimmick, we're really not going to focus too much on it. I mean, it is basically the same. You can take the arms off, you can pick them in wherever you want and create some weird looking things. I mean, it's your personal preference, you know, I mean, whatever you want to do for your kind of creations and everything, and all the parts are interchangeable with the other figures. Much like the first wave of these guys, they all come with extra pieces that can kind of make other Ninja Turtles. These ones kind of look like they're Donatello based on the color. One thing that's interesting though is you can see that what they actually did was give us a completely different leg. This one's bent. I don't know if we've gotten that before, but I mean, it's like you can create kind of a walking sort of pose. So instead of having the articulation in there, they're making some with some of the limbs in this kind of dynamic look, so you can kind of make it look like it's articulated, I guess. I mean, that's kind of neat. But starting off first with Bebop here, again, there is more limited articulation. He doesn't bend here at the knee like the original one did, but I do think that this is a much better looking figure. Now, bringing in the original one, you can see that he is a little bit smaller. So in terms of a size, this one looks a little bit better. I mean, he scales a little bit nicer with the rest of the Turtles than the original one did. Whereas though this one has the pin joints that allow for the rotation, nothing here at the elbow, this now has the ball joints here. And you can see that the arms and everything are basically in the same position. This one doesn't have the little rolling thing that the original one did, but then when you come down to the knees, like I said, this guy here has swivel joints here at the knee. He doesn't have any joints here at the knee, but you do get the full range of motion here with the leg, which honestly is almost perfectly fine. If you ask me, it's a better overall looking figure, so I'm willing to sacrifice, I guess, those knee joints. Besides, I'm just going to have him standing there, so it's not that big a deal. But you can see some extra paint applications here, especially here in the chest area. A lot more of these energy looking patterns. I like the visor on this one a lot more. It's a lot bigger, it's more vibrant. This has it, but just by increasing the size overall of the figure, you also increase the size of the visor. So I mean, overall it is pretty similar. This you can see kind of comes down a little bit more. This one gets cut off. I don't know if that's intentional or what, and honestly I don't remember how he looks in the cartoon to compare that or anything like that. Oh, and also he doesn't rotate at the waist. This guy actually still does have that waist rotation. He still comes with the same accessories. He's got the little disc sort of thing. He also comes with a little egg looking thing. I just got him holding it. But for Bebop, you can see that over the original one, it is an improvement. Moving on to Casey Jones, this one's a little bit weird because this one, honestly, I didn't care for too much. I mean, he's got the weird paint thing and he still has that here, but he always had a weird problem here with the legs. I didn't really like the way that the legs worked. This works a little bit better by having these ball joints, but you can see that it gives him very wide hips, which kind of looks weird when you compare it to this. It's a little bit strange, to be totally honest with you. He does still come with all the same accessories. He comes with a hockey stick that you can see pegs here in the back. He also comes with the bat. He's got the goalie blocker right there. He has the shoulder pad. He doesn't come with a mask, which is kind of unfortunate, but one thing that I did notice is that you can actually still put it in there. It still kind of fits in there. You just wedge it in on the side there, and you can still actually get it on there. So if that was something that you wanted to do, you can still kind of do it. It looks a little bit weird, and honestly I prefer that look anyhow, but you do have the ball joint right there that allows for all that mix and match playability. The articulation is the same here with the ball joint at the shoulders and also here at the hips. In general, I think that this is a better looking figure. It's just a marginal improvement over the original, but all in all, I still think that it is an improvement. So if you were looking to replace the original with this guy, I don't think that you'd be all that remiss in doing it. Like I said, you do have elbows, but these ones are kind of bad anyhow. I never really liked those, to be totally honest. I mean, you still have them as part of the articulation, and they also still rotate. So you do have a lot more points of articulation in this guy. I just don't see it as being that much of an improvement. It is a marginal one. So this is one that you could probably skip out on in terms of picking up if you already have this guy. But if you never got this, that's really a good figure. But finally, the one that I think that benefits the most is Rocksteady. Now, bringing in the original one, he was short, he was stubby, and he just, in general, didn't really feel like he had that same massive presence that he had in the show. This new one absolutely does. I mean, you can see a huge size difference here. Basically, the paint is the same. You can see that these are actually a little bit smaller than these. He still has the sickle and hammer on there. He still comes with the accessories, although these ones are much softer of a rubber, and they're also a different color, so I don't know if that's something that they did intentionally or what. But hands are basically the exact same. The arms are the same, except you can see that this is a little bit different. It's more of a gold color, actually, as opposed to this kind of yellowish mustardy gold. Just in general, I really do think that this is a much better figure. The legs are much more bulky. He's got a much heavier bulk to him just in general. And really, like I said, if you're going for a Rocksteady figure, like a definitive one for a collection, this is one that I think even collectors are really going to prefer. It just scales much better. I mean, look at him compared to Casey Jones here. I mean, this was a silly kind of comparison before. I really never did like the size on this. This guy is just a huge improvement. Same level of articulation though. You got the ball joint right here. Unfortunately, it doesn't rotate at the wrist like the other one did, but you can get it in some good poses still. So you still have that. The head pops off, although this ends up looking a little bit weird. So you take that off and then you put that on. That kind of looks strange, to be honest with you, know, but hey, we're mix and matching, right? So you can do something like that, I guess, and be a little bit goofy with your sort of displays, I suppose. But, I mean, this is a very interesting kind of line. I know things like Hasbro and companies like that have experimented with it, but when it comes to the Ninja Turtles, I think it works really well. And the fact that they, you know, are mutations, it's kind of cool to mix and match them and create your own. You can have a lot of fun with these, and I think kids really are going to take to these guys. Then as for collectors, some of these figures, like I showed previously with Slash and obviously Rocksteady, are huge improvements in terms of scale over their previous counterparts. So collectors, I think, will find a nice place for these in their collections as well. All in all, I'm really happy with what they're doing. It's a fun line. I get that it's geared towards kids, but like I said, I'm very happy that there's actually a spot in my collection for some of these figures as well. So if you're interested in picking these guys up, they are slowly coming out to retail. Or as always, there's places online such as Big Bad Toy Store. So good luck and happy hunting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.